What up, world? It's me, your host, Isabel Wellman, on Incredibelle Conversations. Today we're gonna get a little intense, and I'm excited. So, you should be too. Alright, get ready, sit down, grab something to drink. We are talking about the importance of simplicity and why it matters. Wow, huge topic, people. So this morning I'm reading a Deepak Chopra book, Path to Love. I love this book. I've not been reading this book as fast as I read other books because it's so much for me to take in, but the realizations happen and I recognize it and I have to act on it. And then I paired it with Abraham Hicks' podcast from my morning walk with Zena over here eating grass like a cow dog and the three other dogs running around. And same message. So I have been guided to this moment of speaking to you. Okay, so I'm going to start with just putting it out there how so many of us have these thoughts and theories. And these things, thoughts and theories, are backed up by an emotion. And usually this emotion is coming from the ego, which is what you identify yourself with, i.e. Isabel, i.e. Zena's mom, i.e. health conscious liver, whatever, entrepreneur. It can be anything that I put an I to, when really that I am all of these things all of the time, no matter what, but there's no name to it because I'm acting through each of those things with love or compassion or a mixture of the two and a couple of other emotions, But anyways, so when we come from the ego, it can be not the healthiest place to come from. And when we can come from the spirit or the self, we stop masking others' importance in the world. And we stop hiding behind these identities that we've placed upon other things, events, culture. That's a big one these days. The whole racism thing, black versus white. Y'all, we are all the freaking same. I had to put that note out there really quick before I dive into that. And yeah, I hope y'all like my little hat because it's a gloomy, rainy morning here. So, when we continue to act with emotions of anger, of anxiety, of aggression, of sadness, of anything that is negative, well, guess what? Nothing will be achieved. Even if you think positive on all those things, it doesn't matter because it's the fighting that is the problem. It's not even the issue at hand. It's that we cannot have compassion for another's thoughts on said thing or theory. Oh, nice. And when we can have compassion or love towards another and what they believe in and their thoughts without putting an ego to it, i.e. your opinion, then life gets a lot smoother from here on out. I tell you, I was introduced to this principle in 2016 on my first trip home from Colorado in a book by Tara Brach called Radical Acceptance. Amazing read. You gotta read it if you're interested in this depth of knowledge or intellect in this spiritual aspect, or just like learning how to love yourself a little bit better. So I recommend that book. But that was the first time I ever was really introduced to ego and what it's like to live out of this fear or hatred or said negative emotion towards said action, event, thing, person. Well, my next occurrence happened to be with my yoga teacher training, and of course I was learning a lot more in-depth practice of yoga philosophy, which I'm very hooked on still, and it applies in everyday life. And that really opened my eyes. And that's when I was truly starting to practice detaching my opinion, my feeling, myself, that I identity with things around me, towards what people said about me or to me or at me. It doesn't matter if it was a good thing or a bad thing, because there is no good or bad. It's just however you interpret what's being said. And that's your own moral story there. So that's a whole nother conversation. So when we can walk through this life and grasp the fact that our identity is what is holding us back, it really gets simple. Life isn't meant to behold all of these ridiculous fights. I get that maybe on a more modern level of talk, less spiritual, that is the only way to get things done. However, it's not. When we can start to see out of love and compassion versus aggression or hatred or, oh, I need to fight because I need to look superior, then we can really detach from the ego, detach from the situation at hand, from ourselves, and put ourselves in the other's shoes. And then we can come to the conclusion of, oh, so you need that to feel safe because you're being vulnerable. Let me help you achieve that, because when I need to feel safe, when I'm vulnerable, you're going to help me achieve that, because it's taking the identity and the ego away from the situation, from the act itself. So an example is, you're sitting at home, you're with your loved dove, you're eating some cheeses, a little wine, you're looking fine in your jammies and your slippers, your cute little tank top. And you're watching Letterkenny because it is a great television series. And Hun is just like, hey, you cutie, you wanna like help me clean the living room? And you're in deep with this Letterkenny show. You're watching the boys just go back and forth. And in your mind you can think, I don't want to freaking stop watching my show. I'm having a good time. I don't want to help clean because I'm always cleaning. I don't want to do this because of this. And it's your own emotion. You're not even thinking about the other person. So if you could see from an eye of compassion that you asking for help is you surrendering, and you accepting that help, or agreeing, or being like, hey, I want to help them because it would make it easier for them, or it could help them feel loved, or it could help them feel appreciated, it could help them feel a state of surrender where they're feeling safe to come back to that state of surrender time after time after time again. And the importance of this, people, is common sense. Life is meant to be simple. We, creatures of complexity up here, we make this hard. We make this shit unreal kind of hard. And if we could just see that when I make my life simple, oh my God, what is that? Dirt. Then I see everything as simple, and I can approach it in a simple way of being compassionate, because I realize we're all human. We're all just these souls in these weird little skin tubes, and we're all just trying to figure life out. We're all just trying to feel okay about what we're feeling. And you know what? This whole, all these colored folk are getting bashed on and hated by the white police is a freaking mess. Why is that an issue? Why is that an issue in today's world? Ay. This shit's crazy. If we could just step back and be like, holy wow, I'm being a rabid animal. I'm not acting out of compassion at all, which is why we are a superior species. Holy shit. That's why, people, we're such, animals they act on their evolutionary ways. And just like us, we were once animals, but we made it to the top so far, and we're kind of going back down because of how ridiculous all of us are being about all this easy, simple shit. So guess what? I'm passionate about this. I don't really care about whatever comes to me when I say these things, because it's authentic and true and real, and y'all need to know about it, in my opinion. So guess what? If you want to study this stuff, if you want some help just diving in, hit me up. I will tell you books. I will show you podcasts. I will enlighten your mind. I will feed you exactly what you've been craving to grow out from this mediocre life that is so conventional and makes me want to puke, to this unconventional, satisfying, dream-living world of abundance and mindfulness and appreciation for all things. Because whatever we appreciate goes back into the ground. And one day, we are going to be in the ground. This physical skin tube does not matter. Up here, the thoughts, the inside, everything. Guess what? The common theme of you came back. Weird. It always does, doesn't it? So, everyone take a breath. Everyone recenter themselves. Take a breath. And ask me about stuff you could start looking at for this to make sense. So, that was my gloomy day talk. I hope everyone's feeling good. And I did just get my water machine. If you want to know more about my water machine, ask me. It is changing the world. I'm very, 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 very happy about this. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.